This is another day in my life as a contract pilot flying a turboprop all over North America. I've been a pilot for 2 decades and no 2 days are ever the same. It's not all about flying. It's early mornings, split-second decisions,
Bird, come on, get out of the way.
and lots of adventure. Think you could do this job? Well, stick around. It's probably not what you think. Welcome back, everyone, to another day in the life as a contract pilot. Today, I've got some passengers I have to take on this flight plan. We're going to be flying from Calgary, Alberta, across the Rocky Mountains, down to Boise, Idaho. Do not be fooled by the incredible views of the Rockies, because we will have icing conditions, and it's definitely going to be IFR. And first things first, I always make my bed in the morning. You probably already know that. And I'm going to try to pick on a funky shirt today, but I chickened out. I'm just going to wear a white t-shirt and a jacket. Make myself a cup of coffee from DeVille, my favorite coffee shop here in Calgary. The weather looks great, but you never know, so we're going to have to take a look at the forecast. And because we're not departing till later this morning, I got a little bit of time to go in the studio, check out my new Flying Eyes sunglasses. Link in the description if you want to get a discount code. And Sterling Pacific, shout out to these guys. Their luggage is one of a kind and built like a tank. Then we got to get our flight plan ready. 22 knot headwinds today, and we do have some icing conditions in the forecast here, especially on the descent into Boise. We also have to get our EAPIS and our customs manifest submitted, and we have to give customs a call in Boise to make sure that they don't arrest us when we arrive. Once we get the A-OK, we can say goodbye to the little airplane here. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup in my place. I'm kind of a clean freak, so I want to make sure everything's tidy, make sure that my plants are still somewhat alive. Usually they're not alive, they're barely clinging on. And then it's off to the airport to get everything ready to go. And I usually like to show up about an hour and a half before passengers show up, just to get the airplane cleaned up and do a walk around. You can see we have a little discrepancy in the fuel gauges there. We're actually going to get that fixed when we get back from this trip. We can almost take full fuel even with full passengers. I'm going to do a full walk around on the airplane here, check everything out, make sure we get the windshield clean, because we did hit some bugs on the last flight, so I want to get those bug guts off of there for this one. Say goodbye to my brother. Unfortunately, he's not coming on this trip because we do have a full load of passengers, and when the passengers show up, of course, we have to take a picture with everybody in front of the airplane. Doesn't that look nice? We're going to say our goodbyes and then get everybody in the airplane, do a safety briefing before we start these Pratt & Whitney turbines. The smell of burnt jet fuel, bad for your health, but good for your soul. We're going to taxi for the active runway, pick up our clearance, and yes, I do have a passenger sitting in the co-pilot spot today, which is a good experience for them. So we do have a full load of passengers. We're going to do a quick run-up, check the auto feather and overspeed governors, and then we are cleared to depart runway 17 here at Springbank Airport. Basically, take off, fly runway heading to 7,000 feet, and then we'll probably get vectors. And on the takeoff roll, we're just monitoring the engines, watching our speeds. We need to have at least 100 knots in order to fly. We call that our rotation speed. So we rotate at 100 knots. If we have any problems above 80 knots that aren't critical, we're going to commit to the takeoff anyways. And you can see we're just at 100 knots now, so we are airborne, and we're going to bring the landing gear up. We call this cleaning the airplane up, getting rid of anything that creates a lot of drag. And even though we're at our max takeoff weight with full load of passengers and lots of fuel, we're still going to climb at about 2,000 feet per minute. One of the benefits of flying these Conquests, they do have a lot of performance. As we climb to our cruising altitude, we get a beautiful view of the Rocky Mountains. All of my passengers seem to be enjoying themselves. My co-pilot here, he's giving me the skeptical eyes, but a fist bump reassures him that at least I think I know what I'm doing. And once we're at our cruising altitude, then we get a little bit of time just to hang out and admire the views, admire the different cloud formations. Nice time lapse here as we're skimming underneath this layer of clouds. And while we were cruising along, I thought I would show you why you should buy a pair of Flying Eyes sunglasses. Their frames are insanely flexible, super durable. I mean, just look how far you can bend these frames. They will not break, and they're narrower frames too, so they work great with a helmet or headset, so there's no noise bleed. I'll leave a link in the description so you can get a discount code there. When it's time to descend, we have to set the pressurization 1,000 feet above the field elevation. That way the airplane's depressurized before we land. And I'm showing my passenger how to program everything here on the Garmin avionics. One of the benefits of having a passenger sit up front, you can kind of show them all this stuff. And we did fly through some clouds on the descent, some icing conditions, as you can see on the Garmin display here, but it was a lot less than we were expecting. And it didn't take long before we descended below the clouds to beautiful VFR conditions. Look how beautiful that terrain is out there. Absolutely stunning. There's a little time lapse of us flying the arrival procedure, which I'm going to show you right now on Garmin Smart Charts on the Garmin Pilot app. It's the best feature ever for displaying IFR charts in a really organized fashion. This is the route that we're going to be flying. It's going to line us up for a visual approach on one of the two parallel runways. If we look at the chart here, we have 10 left and 10 right. And it's very important that we do not land on the wrong runway, which has happened many times before to other pilots, not me. I don't want this to be the first time I do that. But we're cleared for runway 10 left. And to stay ahead of everything, I'm going to put the ground frequency on standby on radio number 2. So when we land, all we have to do is switch over. Just helps stay ahead of the airplane. And I'm showing the passenger where both those runways are so he can keep an eye on as well and just kind of understand what's going on. And as we're approaching, we're at about 175 knots right now. We have to be below 175 knots in order to get flaps and start adding landing gear and all that kind of stuff. So we want to slow up, but we're still a little ways back from the runway, so I'm not in any rush to slow up right now. Plus we have good weather. I'm very familiar with this area as well as with this airplane, obviously, so if we want to slow up, we can pretty quickly. We're going to add a little bit of flaps here, start doing our pre-landing checklist. This is my flow check. Belts, brakes, gear, undercarriage, mixture, props, switches. It's called a BB Gumps check, and I do it at least twice. Here we got 3 green lights, meaning all landing gear is down and locked. We've got the lights on, and we do our short final checks. Gear, props, flaps, we have our clearance, and we quadruple check that the landing gear is down. There's both runways there. You can see that we're lined up for runway 10 left. We're on our approach speeds. We're going to add another stage of flap once we're below 145 knots. And at this point, we just want to maintain about 130 knots. And when we get about a mile before touchdown, we can slow up to about 110 to 120. And we want to plan to cross the runway threshold at about 102 to 105. Because we have a nice long runway and because the customs offices are at the far end of this long runway, we're just going to land long and try to make it as smooth as possible. We're not too concerned about using up a lot of runway. As we come over the threshold, I'm just going to pull the power back just a little bit. We're going to land with power, about 300 foot-pounds of torque each. Passengers filming the whole experience, so I want to make this as smooth as possible. Silky smooth. Just let the wheels just kiss the runway, a little smoochy, and look at that. That is about as smooth of a landing as you could ask for or even dream of. Not all my landings are like that, but I have to give it to myself on that one. That was absolutely silky smooth. Then we're going to taxi to this big white square outside the customs office and shut the engines down. That's where customs wants you to park. And then we have to wait for the customs officer to come out, and he's going to inspect everything. We go in the office, give him our paperwork, and then we can move the airplane to parking. And this is where we're going to be staying, Jackson Jet Center. They're going to take care of the airplane. Check into my hotel here, which I just booked on Expedia because I'm kind of last minute. First thing I always do is open all the windows and, of course, jump on the bed and then kick my shoes off, get familiar with what's around the local area and where I'm at in the world, and then get outdoors. One of the best parts of being a contract pilot is you get lots of time to explore the areas that you're at, swimming, hiking, paddle boarding, whatever keeps you fit and happy until it's time to get in the airplane and do it all over again. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Little cheers to all the new viewers. And if you're curious on what it's like to become a pilot, what the process is, how to get your first aviation job, then I've got videos on my channel that you can check out to help get you started. Absolutely love and appreciate all the support, everybody. So we'll catch you on the next adventure. Happy and safe flying, everybody. Cheers.